Hello and welcome, ladies and gentlemen, and thank you for tuning in and stopping by. As usual, wishing each one of you a blessed day. Today's table topic for review, one of my favorite firearms manufacturer. Well, who's that? Walther. Yes, Walther. I do love Walthers, by the way, okay? Who do we have here? Well, we have here the Walther P99AS. This is in 9mm, and as you can see right here, this is the final edition. Before we proceed, as usual, we do a safety check and inspection. There's no live ammunition on this handgun whatsoever. Size, this P99AS in 9mm. I also have here the exact same handgun, Walther P99AS, but this is in 40 Smith & Wesson. And again, we are clear. Now, why did I brought the 40 Smith & Wesson? Just to do a quick side comparison, okay, between each one of them. The Walther P99, again, is a handgun that I have a lot of passion for. From day number one that I saw this handgun, I fell in love with it. They're pretty hard to come by here and then, and if you were to come by or stumble through one of them, sometimes you're paying a little bit of a premium, okay? This handgun was introduced back in the late 90s and is being discontinued. As to the beginnings of 2023, you'll see here and then some of them coming up. I don't know if there's still some new in the box from stocking some dealers or FFLs, but yeah, this one is the final edition, and I actually love it. So let me start with the fun one. This Walther P99 was my first purchase. Like I said, I have always been in love with this handgun. I really wanted it from the beginning, this in 9mm, but this is what I stumbled. This was back in 2013, if I'm not mistaken. All right. So, but the handgun, as you can see, we have a steel upper, polymer lower, paddle release system for the magazine, and it's ambidextrous. Okay. The same applies to the 9mm with a decocker here on top. And we'll get into a minute as to the AS, the anti-stress system. Okay, so again, this was the first one that I purchased in 2013. I always kept my heart on the 9mm. Well, when Walther described, or they announced, I'm sorry, that they were going to discontinue the Walther P99, I started shopping around and I came to this final edition. I do love the combination of that black on top with green, army green lower, and again, this black backstrap. That contrast, that combination looks pretty awesome to me, if you were to ask. I do like the cut on the slide here on the 9mm with the Walther logo stamped on it. You can see P99 final edition. Gorgeous handgun. Now, comparing this side by side to the 40 Smith & Wesson, as you can see, the 9mm has that cut on the slide. The 40 Smith & Wesson doesn't have that cut on the slide on top, on the front, sorry. Reason behind that is because of the mass of the 40 Smith & Wesson caliber, I'm assuming. Now, the funny thing is, I can take the upper of this 9mm and I can slap it on the lower of this 40 Smith & Wesson and it will fit. And I can do it vice versa. The upper of the 40 Smith & Wesson, I can put it on the lower of this 9mm. And the magazines, I can take the 9mm magazine and slap it on the 40 frame, and the 40 Smith & Wesson magazine, I can slap it right here on the 9mm frame. Of course, as long as you have, again, change, the barrel and everything from one to the other, of course. So, stumbled through this P99AS in 9mm. I got a really good deal. Had to ship it home. I did change the sights because the original sights that they come with is a 3-dot sight system. Now, the back, it is steel, and the front is kind of a plastic one. But as you can see right there, it's a 3-dot. Changed it to this, I think it's True Glow or Mary Glow, can't remember. Right there with the high vis on the front. So, firing system. Yes, even that this has an internal striker system, it's more of a double action, single action transition. And guys, this reset, it is crazy. I mean, like one of the best resets in shoulder right there. Double action, super smooth. Long but smooth with a restriking capability, as you can see there. So if you actually shot, the gun didn't go bang, you can do another restriking, capability, and then, if you still don't fire, do your tap rack. Once the gun, again, as you can see, transition, that trigger is just crazy smooth. Now, AS or anti-stress. I know it's going to be a little bit complicated, but let's try not to get overwhelmed. Again, first shot, long, smooth, double action. Reset, crazy, crazy, short and light. You can carry this handgun with the following. If you have a full magazine and one in the chamber, as you can see, we have a striker indicator right here. The striker indicator is resting. If you just do a quick press check on it, there you go. You just engage the striker right there. So, one in the chamber, full mag. You can do the long travel for that first shot, but now with a lighter poundage or weight, see, versus this. Or you can do half travel and leave it cocked like this. There you go. And carry like that. If you want to decock it, you can decock it. There you go. And it will go back to double action. Or you can do press check, activate the striker, and keep the long travel, but with less weight. I personally, when I carry this gun, I will carry it DASH as it is, meaning one in the chamber with the heavier double action pull. There was a time that I did carry it like this with the striker indicator at engage, but the long pull. I will not encourage you to carry this handgun half cocked. I mean, if you want to, that's perfectly fine, but just make sure that you have a really, really good holster to cover the entire trigger mechanism, because there's no safety, as you can see on this trigger. No no little, Glock, dingus, whatever, or ZZ, whatever you want to call it. It's just right there, and it's light, guys. So just keep that in mind. Paddle release. I'm in love with the paddle release. Ambidextrous. To me, I prefer the paddle versus the button. It's more natural with my trigger finger right there. Slide catch, slide release. This side, as you can see right there. Huge, big, beefy extractor. It's crazy. And yes, once it's loaded, let me put it down here. Once it's loaded, it kind of has a little indicator right there, but you can see it. But awesome gun, I love it. What's your thought on this P99AS? What's your thought on the combination, that black with this green black? I mean, I totally love it and I enjoy it. Or do you rather go all black? Both great handguns. If you stumble through one of them, go ahead and buy it. Totally worth it. Obviously, this gun came up back in the getting production in the late 90s, and it went into James Bond's movie. I think it was, which one was it that it was presented on James Bond's? Tomorrow Never Dies, The World Is Not Enough, and let me see right here, Die Another Day, Casino Royale, if I'm not mistaken. But James Bond transitioning from the Walther PPK to this P99, obviously day and night difference. I prefer this handgun over a Walther PPK. I mean, don't get me wrong, I do like the Walther PPK, all steel, but it's 380. I mean, nothing to batch about 380, by the way. But I prefer to have a 15+1 capacity for a total of 16 or 9 millimeter. By the way, the 40 Smith & Wesson has a capacity of 12 plus one in the pipe. That's a total of 13. And I'll go ahead for demonstration. This is the 40 Smith & Wesson magazine. I'll put it on the 9 millimeter, as you can see right there. So, see, this is back on 9. There you go. Yeah, and both of them have that Walther P99 logo stamp right there on the base plate. So Gorgeous handgun. What's your thought? What's your comment? Do you enjoy this Walther P99? Would you prefer the P99 versus the PPQ? One of the reasons why obviously this was discontinued for the PPQ and then the PPQ M2, I think it was, can't recall very well. Takedown, very similar to a Glock with the hinges right here, but they're beefier. So same way to take this down. Pretty easy to maintain a field strip. So what's your thought on this handgun? Do you enjoy it? Are you thinking about buying one? If you haven't done so and you stumble through one of these, go ahead and buy it. The case that it comes, I wish I would have it right here so I can show it to you guys. It's on the attic. And again, I've been sick under the weather lately. I don't feel that well, but gorgeous case, just like the lower green. Looks like a Pelican style case. Comes with some back straps and a nice little coin that says final edition. I love this handgun. I truly love it. You have a little slot right here if you want to mount a light. Same applies to the 40 Smith & Wesson. So great gun. I believe eventually they will go a little bit up in value as time progresses and goes on. If you were to stumble through one of these, like the first generation, that's crazy. I wish I could find one. There have been some improvement on this one versus the first generation. Nothing much. It's just like the paddle release on this guys here versus the first gens is way longer, or which is good for you to let that magazine slap out versus the first generation that were shorter. So it was a little bit uncomfortable with gloves. I mean, it's still doable. If I get my finger and I put it right here, still doable, no problems at all. You just need to train. But again, thought on this P99AS. Totally love this gun. If you haven't subscribed, I would appreciate your subscription, sharing this video, thumbs up. If you have any questions, feel free to ask me. Always here to help out and answer any questions. So, by the way, while making this video, it's funny that we talked about James Bond. It's this Casio world clock, so world timer, whatever. So just wanted to put that out there. Again, thank you for tuning in, stopping by. Till the next one, be safe, be blessed, and see you around.